Yippee guys, it's me, Nightmare, and it's time to run these internet hands for these internet bands. And today's topic is Eve, Psyche, and the Bluebeard's wife. When talking about the title in particular, we have to go over the stories behind the girlies that are mentioned in the song name Psyche, Eve, and the Bluebeard's wife. All three of them have very significant stories that align to each other to create this overall all-arching message, I guess you can say. But there's only one way I can really give you this story in an entertaining way. So introducing Hood Translations with Nightmare, I am going to basically give you the best breakdown of each story in the best way possible while keeping it entertaining and knowledgeable to the actual story at hand. We're not gonna get too far off of context, but we're gonna make it very much worth your time. So starting off with the very first female in the lineup, I think this story has been ran drier than my love life, but I can always give you my good hood translations in the best way known possible. So okay, so Eve is a baddie with a fatty who was out there minding her business, and then she was playing in the gardens with her boo thing, Mr. Adam, but we call him Addie. So Addie and Evie were out here in these streets, and Big Boss Man upstairs was talking about how they shouldn't be, really playing in the garden like that. But if they are going to play in the garden, don't you dare touch my apples, bitch, because shit can get wicked. And so they heeded his warning. They both did not touch. They didn't really go in the garden like that, but when they did, they knew, mind their business when it comes to the apple. And so that's what they did. All of a sudden, Eve was out here in these streets talking to snakes, and which we don't do, ladies. Not in this household. We don't talk to snakes. Not human ones or the real ones. We don't fuck with snakes in this household. And so, for some reason, Eve thought that homie was out here in these streets was talking real good game. He was talking about, yo, if you eat this apple, your life will be changed for the rest of your life. And oh, outright he was. So Eve, being a very little curious mind, wanted to know what's going on with that apple, though, because she's juicy, she's nice and plump and right and plump. So of course she wanted to know what was going on with it. So she ended up eating it, according to the historians, but it doesn't make sense since Adam ended up being with the bearer of the Adam's apple. So technically, I think Adam ate that bitch because why don't girls have the Adam's apple? And that's a theory, a biblical theory. Thanks for watching. Anywho, on to our next victim, Psyche. You may not know who she is, but you do know her baby daddy, Cupid. And I'm not talking about the Cupid that is the hit single for 50/50. No, we're talking about Cupid. The Cupid that gets on everybody's nerves, Cupid. The Loki of the Greek mythology, Cupid. So Psyche was a bad bitch and all that, minding her business. But the thing about it is, she was so beautiful, the whole town was on dick riding her real hard. So Aphrodite noticed that this bitch is taking all my credit because I am the, goddess of bad bitchery, aka beauty. And since it's fucking up my mojo, your girl wants her reparation. She wants to be worshipped. This bitch is getting worshipped except for me. So I'm gonna send this bitch some ops. And so she sent her son, who is Cupid, and she goes and, be like, son, this bitch is trying to take all my street cred. Handle that hoe. And that's what indeed he did, because he rides for his mama. And by handling, she basically meant make her fall in love with a hideous monster. And so Cupid was like, say no more. So he goes and sees this bitch. He accidentally hits himself with his own arrow. So now he's in love with the bitch. And mom's like, where's the hoe? And why is the hoe not in love with this ugly ass monsters? So she's like, you know what? I'm finna run these hands on this motherfucker. Boy, Cupid, comes along, Captain Save-A-Ho, tries to save her and be like, yo, it's my homie and woo whatnot. And so back to the bad bitch. The bad bitch is lonely. She can't really find any good man because all these niggas like her beauty and not for her heart or anything like that. So she goes to the Oracle, and Oracle's like, yeah, ho, I see in your future that you're gonna find a man, but this man's gonna be a hideous monster, woo, whatnot. He's gonna be really powerful, but you're never gonna, really, it's gonna be crazy. So she's like, okay, go on this cliff, and this dude should help you get to your boyfriend. And so that's what indeed she did. She went to the cliffs. She found out, like, I guess the west wind, I guess you can say, picked her ass up and took her to this island. And she met her invisible husband, whatnot. So he's taking care of her, whatnot. And so she goes and she asks the wind to bring her sisters as well because, she getting lonely in these streets. Her husband doing her big one. She living lavish and whatnot, but she just can't see the homie. Ain't nothing wrong with that. And so, modern day sugar daddy. Anywho, her sisters come, and when I say dick riding is a very much sinful accusation, because this bitch, these bitches actually, because she has two, instigate this whole time that her husband might be ugly, might be a troll, might be whatnot. You need to go and kill him because you are pregnant. Did I not mention she's pregnant? Yeah. He got her pregnant. And sis goes and she's like, you know what? I agree with you guys. I need to go out and I need to kill him because we don't know if he's ugly. He's gonna make ugly children. Bitch was getting her bag fucked up, but she didn't even know at the time. So things happened as usual. Basically, she went to sleep. He went to sleep. They were sitting down, relaxing, chillaxing, getting this money. And she goes with a knife and a light, like a little lantern, and she goes to see if she has to kill him. And lo and behold, the monster, the invisible monster, is, you guessed it, fucking Cupid. And so Cupid's up, Cupid's sleeping, he, getting that good sleep in, and she's too busy looking at how beautiful he is. Turns out, she's 5 seconds away from fucking up her bag entirely. And indeed she does. The wax melts and pops onto his skin, and he wakes up, of course, burned, and he's looking at her like, this bitch betrayed me. This bitch doesn't know how to follow directions. And bitch didn't. And she's sad because, the love of her life is now gone. And by the way, she poked herself with one of his arrows as well because she's a dumbass. So she's doubly in love with him. And he's betrayed. And so his mom goes and, pamper his wounds. And she goes to the girl and whoops her ass. But, Psyche's in love with, Cupid, so she takes those licks, and Aphrodite offers her some impossible challenges in order to get her man back. She does them flawlessly for the most part until she is supposed to go to hell to talk to Persephone and get some beauty from her and then go back. So sis, does this almost flawlessly until her dumb ass was like, you know what, I ain't looking pretty right now because I look like a bum. So whenever I see my man, I want to look gorgeous. So I'm gonna steal some of this Persephone's beauty and eat these bitches up. Turns out, if you do not know who Persephone is, you do know her baby daddy, Hades, and I guess you can only understand with that being said. So basically, sis dropped dead, and Captain Save-A-Ho once again had to save hoes and basically save Persephone, and now they're still together. And that's when she became the goddess of the soul. I still think the bitch is stupid, but moving along. So on to the next girlie. But first, we must actually talk about her man first. His name is Bluebeard. Let's just say he has a nasty habit of losing wives for some reason, but you understand that later on with the story. But Bluebeard's got money. He's a big sugar daddy, and he's been, looking for, a girl who's gonna fit his needs. So he goes to this ball, and the family that's hosting it has a lot of daughters. So let's just say homie wanted to fit game with these girls, and he ended up did. But the family's parents already gave them, the what's up about what's going on and how, he has a habit of losing wives. So I don't think you should, necessarily talk to him. But bitches don't listen, and one of their daughters ended up finding an interest in him, and they ended up, being together, I guess you can say. With that being said, Bluebeard basically is a hustler, and homie gotta, be outside the house for a couple of times doing shit. Then they have, money, luxuries, what the whole Fort not. And the only requirement is for her to not go down in the basement. And so one day he's like, hey, yo, I gotta go. I got, gotta make these money, gotta pay these bills. I'll be back. Don't go in the basement. I'll give you all the keys to all the other rooms, though, just in case. So, sis, was like, you know what, I'm bored. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm so tired, whatnot. So she threw a party, to entertain herself, and her family members came over, and her and her sister were talking about this, basement that she's not allowed to go into, and her sister was basically trying to convince her, yo, you should see what's in it. Maybe it's more fortune, maybe it's more money, maybe it's like a secret layer or something like that. Just look. And so she was like, okay, I guess. So the festival ends, well, not festival, but the party ends, and so she's alone. Her mind is still playing tricks on her, and she's still, wanting to, go into the basement, and indeed she does. She gets her keys, she unlocks the basement, and come to find out, those girls that were going missing weren't necessarily missing. They were dead in his basement. And so sis, being a dumb bitch, drops the keys onto the floor, floor where the blood is, and she's screaming, she's panicked, but sis remembers that she's not supposed to be down here, and she needs to get up and go. So she grabs the keys, goes up, locks the door, and tries to clean the blood off the keys, because we like smart bitches in this household, and sis was trying to be smart. But little does she know, he's a step ahead of her. The keys are magical, so when blood touches the keys, you can't wipe it off. So when he came back, she had to give him, give back the keys. And of course, there's blood on it. So Bluebeard is already with the MO, this bitch has to die. And so he goes, and they're trying to have a conversation about it. She's trying to, buy herself some more time. And she does for a little bit. They're trying to, she's trying to say I still want to be with you, whatnot, lying. And so he finally makes his decision, she's gonna kill her. She instead attacks him, hits him, and kills him, which makes her the sole survivor of the whole embarkment. She buries him and the 6 remaining other women that he married, and she ended up getting all of his wealth and money. But now it's time to get a little bit on the serious side. If you notice, about all these things that I've been talking about all have something in common. The women being the ones in the victim position and continuously being forbidden to do something, and the girls doing it instead because curiosity killed the cat. These type of narratives are what men usually use to put the women down and basically make them be more of the submissive side of things. The patriarchy sucks, basically. And the Seraphims, Eve, Psyche, and the Bluebeard's wife are basically saying they're a mess with the stress, but they're still the best dressed, aka they're alive. Basically, they don't want to be in these on God-forsaken rules or stabilities. No man should ever, tell them what to do or what not, basically. And throughout the music video, you will see these certain items from each story in the music video as well. showing that these girls, these are some of the victims slash girls that are indeed being in this forbidden state, I guess you can say. These are the girls that survived, I guess you could say. With that being said, it kind of diminishes, I guess you can say, the song kind of diminishes the title itself, because the song, I guess you can say, the song doesn't really have too much of a substances, especially when it comes to the chorus being very repetitive, and the secondary chorus with the boom 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 part in the middle, and then it goes to the mess. But I do think it's a lovely song to like dance to and party to. I don't think this is a great song that necessarily ticks all the boxes when it comes to songs that I would particularly, have in my like more meaningful and lyrical anomalies at that. But I don't like to really expect that when it comes to the Seraphim. I'm just saying that with the title, you would expect a song to have, more significance, I guess you can say. But this is a party anthem, and I think it's a bop. I think this is going to be like everything, basically. And it already is. TikTok has eaten it up like candy, which I'm so happy about, because the girls need, I feel like the girls would love this type of, recognition. I think this song is actually better than Unforgiven, to be honest. And I don't understand why it wasn't the title track, because it would have made it way more sense for this song to be particularly the song of, as a title track. But hey, I am not part of Big Hit. Speaking of things that don't make sense for sure, is that why is the song title this? We could have done better marketing. We could have done very more signals into the song. There's a few very could be loosely translated things that could be related to the actual stories at hand, but other than that, it's kind of loosely based. But I guess you can say it got the video of basically doing a whole diagnosis over it. But it is what it is. For me, this song is a 10 out of 10 just alone, with the title track, with like the title in itself, and with what could have been presumed to be from the song. It makes it like a 7, I guess you can say. TikTok has absolutely been drowning me with this song constantly. So I wouldn't necessarily say it's overplayed for me, but I would say that I've heard this a lot, and I'm happy for it. Girls, get your bags. Other than that, if you like the video, subscribe if you want to see more of my tomfoolery. Ring that bell if you want to be the first to be notified for all my videos. And most importantly, I'll be seeing you guys in your nightmares. Bye.